guys, it's me again, Ruowen Huang. I'm trying to catch up to my episode 300 to go. So anyway, I'm just gonna do a short broadcast. Hopefully it's way shorter than my last one. In this episode, I'm gonna quickly talk about what happened if you don't get a recognition that you want. So anyway, before I start, let me introduce myself. My name is Ruowen Huang. I'm an author, spirit coach, and also a psychic. The reason why I talk about this is I happen to have a client who talked about how she got really irritated when she didn't get a recognition that she wants. Like, she's very capable and she's very often out there and helping people. And sometimes when people achieve something based on their own her idea or things like that, right? They might give her recognition like, oh, thank you, but that's it. And then she doesn't really get the recognition she wants. And then she get very frustrated by it sometimes, right? So it's very funny. The reason I want to do a broadcast about this is because I realize it's not just her problem. It's actually most of us problem. Like, we all deal with that sometimes through life. Like, you feel like you've been contributing a lot, but that people is not acknowledging you or not recognizing your effort or not thank you enough, right? So very often what do we do is we have that frustration or disappointment brew within ourselves, and then we're like, like, how can they take all the credit, or how come they do that, and things like that. So anyway, today I'm just gonna do a really short broadcast and hopefully give you guys a little bit tips what happened when that situation happened, right? So before we don't know, when we deal with that situation, we get very frustrated, we get upset. So, now if you roughly get an idea of how energy works, you will realize when you have that frustration and then anger or things like that, then you are throwing the negative attitude toward to the universe or something. It very likely come back, right? Now, since you're more aware, we're gonna try to prevent that from happening. But then you're like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Because I still don't have the recognition I want. Should I just go there and ask for it? You don't have to, not really. What I really want you to work on right now is imagining. Imagination go a long way, and trust me, they really go a long way. Imagining you have a bank. You have a bank somewhere in the universe, just like you do in the actual world. You have a bank, right? So now I want you to really calm yourself down. Let's say, I contribute so much, but I don't have that recognition. Oh, I got to say thank you. I mean, what am I supposed to do with it? Now I want you to, acquire peaceful space for yourself. And then instead of throwing negative, which we don't want, it's like a negative interest, which I don't need, right? I want to start imagining that was a bank. Somewhere in the universe, there's some kind of vibration, and that's some kind of bank that only belongs to me. That is, in charge of how my wealth. When I'm going to talk about wealth, I'm not talking about money, because the wealth can be anything, right? You can feel wealthy mentally, spiritually, physically, whatever way, right? So now you have to really imagine there was this bank that is controlling your wealth. Now, when you're dealing with recognition, all that extra, like, you think you deserve 100 and people only pay you 5, now you got 95, right? 95. What you do is I want you to really collect all those feelings, this fulfilled feeling, and how you feel if you receive the recognition of 100%, but you did not. I want you to really make sure you collect every single feeling that you feel like you deserve. And then I want you to really use your imagination and really picture you collect all those wealth and then deposit in the bank. You know what I mean? In your bank, not anybody's bank, but your bank, a bank that belongs to you in the universe. Because the reason I want you to do this exercise is, if now you guys understand energy a bit more, you realize instead of throwing energy out there and all over the place and eventually get dissolved or digested by the universe, you now actually try to focus, bring it together, and then bank it. What I'm saying is that this exercise is actually very good for you. Is you may or may not get the recognition that you need right now. But what I always do is just bank it. Like, I don't need it right now. But hey, Like people pay me $5, $10, and maybe nothing. But if I continue saving $5, $10 for a period of time, it might eventually become $1 million or $2 million. You know what it feels, right? The moment you receive that, you will feel more happy, or you feel like richer. You're like, oh yeah, that's a lot of money. You know what I mean? So it's exactly the same thing, same way like work on the spiritual world, right? So now this exercise, very simple. When you don't receive the recognition you want, instead of before, we don't know better. We throw our energy, frustration, and negativity all over the place, and then send the wrong message to the universe. Now I'm going to say, you know what? Thank you very much. I'm going to collect all this recognition that I think I deserve. I'm going to bank it. I'm going to bank it, and just come back to me whenever I need you, or, in the future, when the interest is high. I don't need it now when the interest rate is 3%, but hey, come back to me when the interest rate is like 20%. You know what I mean? So for many of you, I get it. We suggested it to the client, but I figure it's a common thing that we often struggle in life. I'm pretty sure you guys think I'm trying my hardest, and then I still don't get recognition. Of course, there's some childhood issue if you're aware of work it, but if you don't, you're like, hey, I got no issue, but I don't understand what, they just say thank you, that's it. If that kind of thought ever come to your mind, this is an exercise for you. This is an exercise say, you know what, from now on, I will bank it. I will bank all my recognition. I'm going to put it in this universal bank and just come back to me with interest. Come back to me with interest. So if once you start thinking in that perspective, you start to realize you no longer care. Really, you no longer care what kind of recognition people give it to you. They give it to you, you're grateful. They don't give it to you, you're grateful. Because you know what? You're going to come back with interest. It's all good. Guys, it's all good. You know what I mean? So anyway, just a really short broadcast for you guys. For many of you out there dealing with day in, day out thing, it can be a word, it can be friends, it can be your family member, it can be any situation. If you ever caught yourself in a situation that you feel like you don't really get the recognition you deserve, here's the exercise for you. Bank it to the bank, and then trust the universe. It will bring it back to you one day. So anyway, if you like what I'm doing, you can always join me live on Facebook, or go to subscribe my YouTube channel, or my website, ruowen.com. Till then, I see you guys next time. Bye.